Hello, Internet. Welcome to Dry Bones Theory, the show where we do theories on games, and it's the cutest smart show on the internet. Okay, start. Do 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 do. Okay. Anyway, did you know? Well, we're talking about two famous franchises today on this theory. First is Klonoa, the iconic platformer from the same developers of Pac Man. Anyway, Klonoa is a game with a somewhat serious story, and it's about see the first game, Dora the Phantomile, is about Klonoa as a kid. He goes on an adventure with Hugh Pow, and then Lepes at the end does her song of rebirth, and then Klonoa sadly gets taken away to another world, and the world resets since he wasn't actually from there. But anyway, and then also he defeated the Dark Lord, Joka, and also Gadius. So yep, and then in the sequel, Klonoa 2, Lumitea's Fail, he's now a teen and in a blue jacket, and now he has Popo and Lolo the girl, and then there's the dog thing. His name's probably not Popo, but let's just move on. But anyway, yeah, and then he has to do an adventure with the King of Sorrow against him. He's the final boss. But then anyway, at the end, Klonoa gets sent to another world again. And then anyway, the more iconic game, Undertale, made by Toby Fox. It's where you can do decisions, and depending on who you attack and who fades to dust, you can change endings. There's the three endings: pacifist, neutral, and G. I'll just call it G. But then anyway, it is that there's probably and then see there's mainly two characters we're focusing on today: Sans and Papyrus. See, Papyrus Sans is a special character from the rest of the monsters in the underground. He knows about your previous routes, and he has the hardest boss fight in the game at the end of the G route, and he's definitely a hard fellow, and he knows about your timelines. He could be pretty serious, but he also has some jokes. He does some deep talks with you throughout the pacifist route. But anyway, it is he also has this brother Papyrus, which fits more with the rest of the monsters, and it's just like a trying to capture you, but then he becomes your friend if you spare him, or if turn him to dust, or if you turn his head to dust, then Sans will not like you. But then the G route, he flat out fights you. So okay, I gave in context for both games. But anyway, the thing you probably didn't know is that Klonoa and Sans are one of the same. That's right. Klonoa is Sans, and I'm here to prove it today. First off, after Klonoa 2, let's first set off the fact that that see what happened to Klonoa after Klonoa 2. There was never a Klonoa 3. There was the Wii game and the Fantasy Reverie series on Switch and other modern platforms. But what happened to Klonoa, you may ask? Well, he probably went to other worlds, and he probably keeps getting sent away. But see, in Klonoa 2, he forgets all the memories of Klonoa 1. So he has to go back through a different. Well, he goes to another world, and then at the end he gets sent again. So he probably forgets about the events of Klonoa 2 if Klonoa 3 ever happened. So he'll probably just keep getting sent from world to world when Lepes keeps doing her Song of Rebirth. Or, well, basically, whenever he stops the big threat of the game, he has to get sent to another world. So, anyway, let's just say Klonoa is like in his theoretical, let's say, ninth world or whatever. and he is so sick of it. He keeps stopping threats, and he's just kind of he's an adult now, and he's just kind of tired. So then, anyway, he's wondering about his past since he could barely remember about anything that happened in his past from last year and all the other years before in his life. Says he keeps forgetting about his adventures because he keeps getting sent from world to world. So he wants to know. So then he finds some unknown figure, and he offers him to be able, whenever he gets teleported from world to world, to remember all his adventures, and he could also remember all his past adventures that he did before the deal, so he could finally remember all of that and could get the memories. But in return, he would have to lose all of his skin and become a skeleton, and also he would have to change his name to reference the most hated font in history, Comic Sans. So his name got changed to Sans, and he lost his ears and everything because he's a skeleton now, and his ears don't have bones. So then, anyway, he's now a skeleton. And then see, in the first game, Klonoa had a grandpa, but see, it wasn't really. It was like an interdimensional grandpa because in the original, his grandpa, his grandpa was changed into a. Well, his grandpa died. That's one thing, and also he was made for like the world. See, they made up all the memories of him and Phantomile, and he was in the world with his grandpa. So so he gets sent to the new world, which is the underground, which is where Undertale takes place. And then anyway, the gods in the space with Lapis and all that, they made a new family member like his grandpa, which is the brother, his a new brother for him for Underground, a new skeleton brother. And his name is Papyrus, which is the second most hated font of all time, other than Comic Sans. So then Papyrus is his brother, and Sans loves him a lot, and but by that he means a lot, and he like how he loved his grandpa. But then anyway, a new thing you don't know is that see with Lapis, the main protagonist of Undertale, Frisk, along with Flowey, the first character you meet before Toriel, are actually have weird similarities to the piece. They could reset, since Lil Heaps could do her Song of Rebirth and reset the world, and that's what gets Klonoa away because he wasn't born in it. But do you want to know who other two characters can reset? That's right, Frisk and Flowey. Though with Flowey, if he and like La Piece, where she has to sing a song to reset the world, Flowey can only reset the world if he dies. Well, am I allowed to say that? I guess I'm allowed to say die here. Anyway, yeah. So he gotta die to do the reset, and he could be reset, and then Frisk can reset at different times with different save points because of their determination. They're the most powerful in terms of the saving. But anyway, Sans. But see, Sans doesn't want to fight the human ever in the game because of Toriel's promise of not hurting a human, which we mentioned in the pacifist route dinner scene. Along with that, it's because there's another reason to see Klonoa. It is it's because he's afraid that Frisk is the threat of the world, like how Gadius was in the original and the King of Sorrow was in the second one. And if he defeats them, he will be sent away again, and also the Tor. But then, if the human does the G route, Sans will actually fight them because it's the last straw. But anyway, Sans is different from the rest of the world of monsters. Kind of like how Klonoa is different from the rest of the world of Phantomile and Lumatea, or yeah, Lumatea is what I think it's called. Yeah, Lumatea's veil. Take. Yeah, I think it's called Lumatea. Okay, yeah, I think it's called Lumatea Klonoa 2. Yeah, Lumite is what it's called. Sorry, I got in a little stumble. I'm doing this as a joke. Okay, but anyway, yeah, but anyway, yeah, like how Klonoa is different from the rest of the world of Phantomile and Lumitea. Also, it explains how, see, there's another thing is that in the ending of the pacifist route, Sans knows what the sun is. Papyrus asks what the giant ball in the sky is, and Sans says that's what we call the sun. So see, this is that's how, because he said Sans is Klonoa. Klonoa in Phantomile and Lumitea has seen the sun in the background, while Papyrus, it was made and was made and basically born in the underground, so he doesn't know what the sun is. So, yep. And then, see, throughout the Undertale, Sans keeps saying he wants to go back, and in his G route fight, he said, "Look, I gave up trying to go back a long time ago, and getting to the surface doesn't really appeal anymore either." No, he said either. So he comes from the surface world and wants to come back, but he no longer considers it his home, as if he's from a different world. And if you get what I'm saying, that world is Phantomile. He misses Hugh Pow and his friends from that Phantomile, and also his grandpa, even though he's dead, but he misses him very much. So yes, and see, that's why, and that also explains why. That's why Sans is the only character who can dodge your attacks in Undertale, since Klonoa is the only character who can move and dodge attacks in the first two Klonoa games. It's yeah, what? Yeah, I don't think there's a reason to read this. And then more Sans quoting, it is that you can't understand how this feels, knowing that one day, without any warning, it's all gonna be reset. We'll just end back up here, right back. We'll just end up right back here without any memory of it. Right. That last one was from a bit after, but yeah, when he says yeah, see, because see in Klonoa, he knows without any warning after he beat Gadius, it the world reset, and then he got sent away, and then he went to another world without any memory of it, kind of like this thing. So yep,